Well, we're back in the front seat of the car. In case you don't know who I am, my name's Tim Grimes, and I like to say that I start where most LOA teachings on YouTube end. That will be the case for today's video, as usual. Yeah, and if you don't know, Marvin Daniels and I provide probably the most in-depth SP coaching, specific person, romantic relationship coaching that integrates law of assumption concepts on that's available. So if you're interested in that, you can fill out a brief questionnaire below. I'll link to it. So today's video, I want to talk about something that is missed by far too many people, and why I'm such a proponent of the 7-day mental diet of Emmett Fox as a short-term technique to change your life. I have a whole playlist of videos regarding the 7-day mental diet of Emmett Fox. I'll put a link above to that playlist. You can also easily find the PDF to the 7-day mental diet. It's a very short pamphlet online. The 7-day mental diet is a technique. I've never worked with someone or spoken to someone who has done the 7-day mental diet all the way through, who has not had some kind of rather profound realization or have some kind of, lasting effect from doing it. Everyone that I know who has done it for 7 days has had some significant thing internally and or externally occur to them. And I think the reason why can be summed up in this short passage that I'm going to read from the 7-day mental diet. Hold on one second. Fox writes in here, please be very clear about this. If you change your mind, your conditions must change too. We are transformed by the renewing of our minds. So now you will see that your mental diet is really the most important thing in your whole life. This may be called the great cosmic law, and its truth is seen to be perfectly obvious when once it is clearly stated in this way. In fact, I do not know of any thoughtful person who denies its essential truth. The practical difficulty in applying it, however, arises from the fact that our thoughts are so close to us that it is difficult, without a little practice, to stand back, as it were, and look at them objectively. So that's the power of the 7-day mental diet, but that's also the power of integrating so many of these LOA tools into our life. If we do them earnestly and with even a small degree of success, we will start to be able to, stand back, as Fox said in that passage, from our thoughts and observe, maybe for the first time in our life, or at least for the first time in a more consistent manner, just how damn reactive we often are. The amazing thing about the 7-day mental diet for most of us when we do it, certainly when I do it, every time I've done it, I think I've done it 7 or 8 times at this point, is you just realize, my gosh, I am so reactive to my thinking and to my feelings. So reactive. And, when you're on this diet or when you're doing any type of serious inner work, you start working with that reactivity. Because here's the thing, guys. This is what most people in the law of assumption space and the law of attraction space, even though we hear so much about imagination, fail to understand thoroughly, or at least to understand in a way where they actually apply it with consistency. It's this. If you change your reactivity, you change your imagination. Furthermore, one could say, on a practical level, your reactivity is your imagination. In other words, if you don't know how to utilize the techniques that Neville talks about, that Joseph Murphy talks about, that these other law of assumption, type of teachings discuss, you can simply work on your reactivity. And you can do, the 7-day mental diet of Emmett Fox, or do other exercises that help you work on your reactivity, including many more therapeutic exercise, more, therapeutic modalities, perhaps in DBT or something like that help you notice and be more mindful of how you react to things in your everyday life. That is applying the law of assumption, believe it or not. That is directly working with your imagination. To read this passage from Fox again. In fact, I do not know of any thoughtful person who denies its essential truth. The practical difficulty in applying it, however, arises from the fact that our thoughts are so close to us that it is difficult without a little practice to stand back, as it were, and to look at them objectively. Guys, as I often say, all this theory sounds great, Law of assumption theory, like the eloquence that Neville uses, the eloquence that Joseph Murphy has, it's wonderful. That is not that difficult for most of us to understand, at least at a basic level. What's far more difficult for people to understand and then apply is what we're talking about now. Your freaking reactivity. And when you start working with your reactivity, you start working with your imagination. And you realize it ain't going to be just a walk in the park, at least for most of us. I hope it is a walk in the park for you. I hope you've already come along far enough where it's a walk in the park for you. But, you hear in Buddhism all the time this great phrase, monkey mind, right? And you will realize your thoughts and then, your somatic responses, as I've discussed a lot, how your body and your emotions respond to your thinking. It's very fast. And it's very easy for that somatic response to kind of overwhelm you. For you to react negatively and to dwell on negativity, as Fox talks about in the 7-day mental diet, even though you do not intend to. This is the work. This is the work. And of course, if you like doing SATs, if you like doing affirmations, if you like journaling, etc., use those wonderful imaginative techniques and exercises as you like. That goes without saying. I'm pro all that stuff. Use whatever technique works for you. I'm just saying we have to also acknowledge that our reactivity is our imagination. And if you feel like these techniques just seem too elusive or esoteric, just simply work on your reactivity. And some of the people who might help you work on your reactivity, some of the best role models, might not be in this LOA space. You work more on being less reactive and kind of, more able to just be present in the moment and embrace the okayness or the peace of the moment. You work on that. You start noticing that more. You start noticing that you're okay right now when you slow down. That right now you are okay. You're watching this video or listening to this video, you're okay. You start noticing that more and become less reactive to what's happening in your external 3D circumstances. Your life will get better. This doesn't have to be crazy esoteric theory, guys. This is just doing it. And that's what interests me, both in my own life and helping other people do it. So if you want help or if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me at radicalcounselor.com. And until next time, be less reactive.